Back in at 3:30, Election Day has come and gone in Colorado, and it brought some surprising results. So joining us is 9 News anchor Kyle Clark. Kyle, I think in this political climate, in the middle of a shutdown, some of this stuff was expected, but what surprised you most out of yesterday?
I don't think that anybody was surprised that Democrats and progressives had a good night nationally and in Colorado, but the extent to which they swept was a surprise to me. And I would point to, in particular, what happened in Aurora. We talk a lot about Denver politics. We talk a lot about the state of Colorado's politics. We don't talk a ton about municipal politics in the city of Aurora, which is the third largest city in the state. The fact is, it's a really interesting situation because it's the most diverse city in the state, but for decades, almost uninterrupted decades, it has been run by Republicans. Now, they are nonpartisan races, but it's Republicans who have long led that city, but they've been moderate Republicans. As Trump has come on the scene, Aurora Republicans have more mirrored Trump in style and in substance. And last night, voters appear, we're still waiting on final results, voters appear to have sent the MAGA Republicans in Aurora packing, like all of them that were up for races. And that included Danielle Jurinsky, who, despite the fact that she is a city councilwoman, is one of the best known conservative politicians in Colorado. She's built this enormous brand for herself through right-wing media, including Fox News, primarily around the issue of immigration, but she sounds off on a lot of different things. She's a big, bombastic, firebrand personality, and that has allowed her to raise a ton of money. I mean, she raised a ton of money for a city council race. I want to say like $250,000. And she is currently trailing two candidates that she outraised by 5 times and by 15 times. And we're talking about two candidates who are unabashed progressives. So you are going from MAGA to progressive, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, pendulum definitely swinging the opposite direction. I want to talk to you about school boards. As a parent, and I know that we have a lot of parents, grandparents who watch at 3 o'clock. What was the trend that you saw?
Yeah, it was the teachers union endorsement was gold this year. It really was. I think if you look at Denver, where it's not a left-right split so much as it is union backing versus so-called education reformers, folks who are higher on charter schools, that kind of thing, that has gone back and forth a bit in recent years, and the unions won a clean sweep last night and will again have the majority voice on that council. Same thing in Cherry Creek schools, where union-backed candidates facing more conservative candidates held them off. Similar story in Jefferson County schools, and in Douglas County. Probably the surprise on the education slate was the fact that Democrat-backed candidates, they're not all like super Dems, but like they're more moderate than the Republicans who held the board. They swept last night and will now hold all 7 seats on that board. Wow. That's wild. Douglas County, which had a school voucher case, money for religious schools, it was meant to go to the Supreme Court. This is like a hotbed of like conservative educational philosophy. Now will not have a conservative on their school board. It will be 7-0 for Dems and more middle-of-the-road folks. That is also really striking.
We've been wrapped. 1 second. I just want to ask, were you surprised that so many people voted for Mayor Johnston's, big, beautiful bill? Can I call it?
His big, beautiful bond?
That part.
I was surprised that it won by that much. Okay. I was not necessarily surprised that it won because Denver voters typically approve bonds. The Mayor Hancock's arena at National Western was the only one that's gone down in flames in recent years. And that went down in flames because City Council put it up alone and really kind of squeezed him. These bonds were put together well. You had a couple of more controversial projects, but they were packaged with other things that people liked. But the idea that those bond elements, all 5 of them, were going to win by 25 to 35 percentage points, that is also really, really striking. And I know that Mayor Johnson regrets coming on with me the day before the election when I asked him, is this vote a referendum on you? And he goes, no, it's not a referendum on me. And then last night I asked him, was it a referendum on you? He goes, yeah, of course it was.